All right. How are you getting on, you well? You good? Do you enjoy, do you have a good banker? Huh? Yeah, you're one letter off. Oh my god, you're one letter. I slid my, you can't see, but I slid my glasses down to the bridge of my nose and stared over the top to be like, kind of in a suggestive kind of, scolding kind of parent kind of. But I don't kind of know the vibe I'm going for. Kind of hot librarian as well as that kind of vibe. But yeah, I had a good bank holiday, if you know what I mean. Yeah, one letter off. Again, I slid them down to the bottom of my nose. My glasses there. There used to be this trick kids would do in school where it'd be like, here, all right, say my dad is a banker, but kind of pull your mouth, I got to be specific on this, mouth cheeks apart, right? I don't know why. You probably would assume I meant mouth cheeks. But I have to specify sometimes, You give me a real fucking smack on the cheeks. The mouth cheeks, if you ever have to say that you want it. Anyway, I'm not talking about this now. I'm not talking about that. But the point is, you have to say, my daddy is a banker, while holding your cheek like that, And what comes out is, my daddy's a wanker. you ended up calling your elbow fucking wanker by pulling your cheek. And another one you would have to do would be, say, my dad works in a pirate ship. You'd have to say that and pull your cheek. And you'd be like, okay, I will. This kind of go, my daddy works in a pirate ship. So now I've just said, and I don't mean this, Dad, please, if you're listening, I don't mean this, but I just said my dad is a wanker who works in a pile of shit, There's a lot of tricks they used to do, kids. Kids are cruel. There was one that was, you'd say, see, kids are always trying to trick you. Are you this or this? And usually there's no way out. And the one I remember was, someone would say to you, are you a Mars bar or a Snickers? And they're like, how could either one of these incriminate me? But then the first thing you think is like, oh, nuts. Is there a nuts thing? Why would that's the only difference I can hear. Or is it something to do with a planet? Am I out of this world? Is this some But what you say is, they say you're a Mars bar or Snickers. You say, all right, I'm a Mars. You've no nuts. Fuck, it means I'm acting like I'm a girl. Like I'm a girl, and that's bad because it's the 90s. And I'm a boy in a boys' school. And then you'd say, then someone else would ask you later on that day, and you'd be like, I got fucking wise to this now. Well, next time they ask me, I'm going to say Snickers. But like, are you Mars bar or Snickers? Snickers. You love nuts. So now, I've outed myself as a nutless gay man. Just because I am two different types of chocolate bar. But then the other side, the other one was, someone would say Mickey Mouse had a house, what number was it? And you'd say 15 or something. And they'd be like, you 15 girlfriends. And if he said 0, he'd be like, you've no girlfriends. It was all shit. Like, it's all cruel shit that you just can't get away from. But yeah, my daddy lives in a pirate ship. So this week's pod is a bit different. And it's a bit of a different format. This is not going to be it's not like a permanent change or anything like that. This podcast will always remain me chatting shite by myself, spiraling out of control. You can always rest on that. But I would like to every so often have guests on the pod. And I was kind of thinking, how do I just have a guest on the pod? And I was thinking, I love shiting on about geeky shit that I'm obsessed with. And there's varying degrees of geeky subcultures, Like, there's people who are obsessed with Twilight. There's people who are obsessed with Gundam and Dragon Ball. There's people who are mad into fucking trains, as we find out later on in this pod. And as much as I like burning the ear off people about the things that I'm interested in, like Star Wars and, comics and Marvel, I also do, believe it or not, like to have the ear absolutely burned off me by people who are mad into stuff. I get a genuine ASMR from people who talk so emphatically about something they're really passionate about and really geeky about. So I decided to trial a new thing and have a guest on, probably going to be once a month, on this main feed podcast, where people will come on and they will talk to me and I will learn and I will have done my research as well about a topic that people are just obsessed about, and kind of have an overall conversation about geekiness and kind of living in a kind of world now where we all kind of have these geek holes. We all have these geek holes that we kind of go down. And geek culture is, it's just having a niche love for something that is on the kind of fringes, that not everyone is obsessed with. And you probably have something. You listening to this right now have something in your YouTube algorithm that you're the only person that probably looks at, and you don't talk to your friends about. Could be skincare. You could be a skincare geek, You could just be mad into watching video essays about the Matrix. Do you know what I mean? You could be whatever it is. There's something to you that you are obsessed about, and everyone has, and we kind of have them quite private. So I want to talk about those things, and I want to talk to them about those things with some very fun friends that I have, and my very fun my very fun friend Alison Spittle is the first guest on this, and she is talking about, I asked her what she want to talk about, because she geeks out about a lot. She geeks out about just showbiz news from the noughties. She geeks out about Barry from EastEnders. She geeks out about drag. She has this fucking encyclopedic knowledge, even though she's never been to any of them, of these ridiculous like northern takeaways that she watches. This one builder fella, retired builder, review on YouTube. I think he's a builder. And there's so many things, but I asked her what was the things that she probably geeks out and has the biggest obsession with, and she said the TV show Pointless. And I'm like, you know what? I like Pointless. I don't know enough about Pointless, but I love trivia. Let's fucking talk about Pointless. So that's what we did. So I hope you enjoy this chat with me and Alison Spittle about Pointless. Before we get on to that, I want to thank this week's sponsor, the Dubliner Irish Whiskey. Look, I'm doing a cheeky collab on this podcast, me and Alison Spittle. But you want to see what the Dubliner are doing right now with their cheeky collabs with Rascals Brewery. Let me tell you about this smoked stout they got. You ever go to a fancy cocktail bar and they make you like an old fashioned, and then they put it in like a weird kind of like bell jar, and they pump it full of smoke, and you're like, what are you doing? What are you doing to my drink? I just want to drink it. I'm not trying to kill it. This isn't like the start of fucking The Rock with Nicolas Cage doing an autopsy or whatever, or dismantling a bomb and all the gas goes off. That's not what this is. I'm trying to have a drink. So look, skip all the pageantry, skip all the weird experimentations of putting a glass of a liquid in a fucking bell jar, filling it full of smoke, and just get a hint of it. That's what they're so good at, just having a little hint, adding to the taste, and go to the DLD.com, get yourself some Dubliner Irish Whiskey Smoked Stout Beer Cask Edition. There's less than 2,000 of them. Fantastic gift for Father's Day coming up in the next couple of weeks. And thank you very much, Dubliner, for fostering the arts by sponsoring this podcast. But look, let's move on to geeking out about Pointless with Alison Spittle. Now, I haven't thought of a name for this pod, or at least this kind of guest once a month version of the pod. It'll either be called Geeking Out, it'll either be called Super Geek, or Teach Me Niche was a suggestion from associate producer of the pod, Ben Clifford. It's so awful it might just work, but I think I'm going to start calling it Geekhole. So this episode of Geekhole with Alison Spittle talking about Pointless on, of course, the Tony Cantwell Shitshow. I can't believe this pod. The Tony Cantwell Shitshow. I'm here geeking out. Alison Spittle. Alison, how are you doing?
I'm so good. We had a great pre-talk there, I have to say.
Oh, we did. It might have even made it in already, whoa, depending on the quality to follow.
We could be like one of those, but is it on? Are we started?
Are we started?
Yeah, we started.
This is how we do it, man.
Man.
You want to have a toke one of these, bro?
Yeah, you ever do DMT? I'd love to be on the Joe Rogan show, because I feel like I'd agree with everything he said out of politeness, and I'd destroy my own career. Do you know what I
mean? Yeah, I suppose they aren't really women. Yeah.
It's great to be here, Joe. Yeah. My favorite thing to do, my favorite episodes of the Joe Rogan show are like when the mid-level comedians go on and they're just sucking his dick.
Oh, they're God, just like, big time.
He can be. I think he does it to troll them. I think he says out there mad things just to get someone, you know, who's headlining a New York comedy club go, yeah, Joe, yeah, you know, it's
Like
just.
I think he's had maybe it was a Whitney Cummings who's on it, Nikki Glazer, I think.
Nikki Glazer, yeah,
Nikki Glazer's been on, and he's pretty much been like, you know, women are fucking shit. She's like, I know. I was like, oh, Nikki, no.
I know. So I'm glad to be on your podcast because I feel like this vibe, it'll be a different vibe, won't it?
Totally. Well, look, the topic of this, because, you know, we geek out a lot on things like we've a shared love of drag,
Yes.
and, you know, kind of TV, and I think kind of like naughties, kind of like Brit showbiz kind of things. I've been looking back on some like photos of like Gareth Gates and Jordan, and I'm like, I can't believe this was the A-list.
The pinnacle of people. It really was. And like, I used to read a lot of like, maybe I should have put this for my geeking out thing, but when I was a teenager, I used to read a lot of autobiographies by C-list celebrities. So Chantel, do you remember Chantel?
Yeah.
I've read her one.
Does it start with, I walked in Big Brother house and...
she dedicates a whole chapter to her falling out with her mates in secondary school. I was like, Chantal, you haven't lived. Like, you know, like, I don't even remember the names of the people I fell out with in secondary school. So, you know?
But you probably would have thought, this is fucking definitely going in. You know, this breakfast is going in.
Yeah. How dare you nickname me that? Yeah. I'll get back at you. But yeah, a lot of kind of like there's a lot of stuff when you do stuff on your podcast, and I'm like, oh my god, I feel very passionately about that, but I could never do it now because I don't want to copy Tony. But we have a shared, I think like chat rooms and stuff like that.
Yeah,
it's a big thing. Yeah, I used to do them
big time.
a
MSN,
lot. Like MSN Messenger and Teen Chat. I used to go to Teen Chat a lot. Do you remember that?
But like now looking back at Teen Chat, it's only appealing to one type of person.
Pedophiles.
Yeah, nonsense. that are not teens. There's no teen is like, I'm here as a teen in teen, apart from us, of course.
Yeah, and I kind of didn't mind if I talked about nonsense because I was like, it was like being in a shark cage. You know, you're looking around, you're like, you're a danger to me, but you can't get me here. I'm in my sitting room.
Yeah, it's kind of like, you know, like it's like, oh yeah, I could go into like a Scientology thing and like so not be, you know, like I could go on a teen chat room and not be groomed.
Oh, I know.
Being like,
what was wrong with me? Like
I know. I'll send you a picture of my leg, nothing else. Like, and then all of a sudden, oh, hang on now, why have I sent him that?
I know.
It started off like Cruel Intentions. You have wonderful legs. I'd love to photograph them. Being like, really? My legs?
Yeah. You watch like, you know, Coronation Street at the time. Sarah Lou, she got pregnant, but then she also met a fella she met off a chat room. Like, you know, mad joke. And I was watching that. I was like, Sarah, you never meet them. I don't know what you're doing, Sarah. Like, you know, you've broken the number one rule of a teen chat hangout. And that is meeting the person, you know?
I used to, I did this thing. I think I don't know if I told you this before, but like there was this really like hot guy, and everyone called him like Fairy Boy, and all the girls were just so obsessed with him that I was like, oh, fucking, you know, just like jealous, like seething with jealousy, because it's all my friends who were girls would talk about. So like I added him on MySpace and pretended to be a woman.
Oh, Tony, you did not tell me this. What?
I pretended to be a woman, and you know what? He was nothing short of chivalrous and a gentleman, and I couldn't coax the creep out of him, and he was just like, "Oh, you seem really cool. Yeah, like, I wouldn't mind, you know, meeting up." And then eventually, I was like, "Yeah, meet up with me." And then I meet up with me in Stephen's Green, and then I was there in Stephen's Green looking at him, and he walked in, spun on his heels, and then left. But it was some good sleuthing from me.
That was very good. Yeah. Like what you wanted? You just wanted him to creep out and then like tell your friends. Was that the kind of vibe?
Just maybe not even tell them, because they would have been. I mean, I never told them this. I told one other lad, which was like, it was a private thing. It's not even like it was. It's not even like it was a thing I was telling everyone. Wait, you see, you know. And then so there was no real payoff. And if I couldn't have been like, oh yeah, you know that guy you like. Well, I pretended to be a woman, and I entrapped him.
The only thing that stopped me from catfishing people was the lack of access to public transport. It was just never a possibility for my mom is not going to drive me,
Okay, here we are. I'm staying in the car, and
yes.
there he is, and drive me home.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it, ma'am.
What did he do? Don't want to talk about it. You're laughing on the way home.
Yes. So geeking out, I would have to go through my whole like history of what I would consider. I was
I'd love to know.
I was very outgoing. I kind of saw being clever as like a good thing, know, when I was young. And then I moved around loads, and I was so used to hanging out with adults. I never really had child friends when I was a child. Like my first best friend was a fella called Brett, who was like 36 from New Zealand. He worked with my dad.
Oh wow!
And I named my fish after him and stuff. And he was just, just a fella that worked with my dad and said hello occasionally. I was like, this is my best friend.
Oh wow!
And then I moved to Ireland. My dad had a car crash, and we ended up in a council estate, which is grand. Life is good, but my first day in the estate, I was used to making friends by getting a bag of sweets and sharing them, and then making conversation. Aww. So I had a packet of travel dimes, little tiny dime bars that you got from the airport. And I came in, I was like, hi, my name is Alison. Here's some dimes. And they go, shut the fuck up. And they slapped the dimes out of my hand. And it's like a rural estate. Like, we're grand now, but like, they
Holy
like
shit.
Lads would hit women. There would be no like in the rules of the playground, like there was no like,
I was literally talking about that. There was a guy around my the estate who he was known. That was his whole thing. Like he hits women. He doesn't like. You gotta stay away from that guy. He hits women.
Yeah, there's no he's no chivalry.
No.
But like a thing I used to remember is like I used to read Encyclopedia Britannica books. That was my big thing.
Oh, nice.
And I used to be mad into trivia, mad into like putting on my hand and getting up the answers right and stuff like that. And then like I used to have an incredibly large vocabulary as a child. Used to say stuff like "that's diabolical," like about like crispy pancakes or whatever. Like I'd be like, that crispy pancake is diabolical. Yeah. And I was kind of like I was encouraged by the people in my state and actually one teacher to like just shut up and not like just stop pretending you're so clever and stuff like that. And I was like, cool.
Oh, wow.
And I know, Jesus, this is not the type of podcast, but basically I pushed all of my, I then didn't want to do well at school because that wasn't getting me any like social kudos or anything like that. And, I was living in the there and now.
Yeah.
But I really got into quizzing.
Yeah.
So I have very bad exams, results of everything, like my junior cert, my leaving cert, absolute stink. But I am very good at quizzes and like very into trivia.
Yeah.
Very into like pop trivia as well of the mid 2000s and stuff.
I love trivia. We're kind of married into a very trivia family. Like
really?
My father-in-law will just say something like, "Do you know why they have? We'll be walking by somewhere. Do you know why there's a hole in that bridge? Like there's a couple of holes in these bridges. In fact, this is an interesting bit of trivia. In a lot of Dublin bridges, right? You might be actually all over Ireland, but bridges that have to kind of like over rivers and stuff like that, and really old bridges, you might see these kind of like burrowed out holes. At first we were like, oh, must be irrigation, must be there, erosion. Apparently there's loads of holes in bridges, like stone bridges all over Ireland, because they thought that if the Nazis took over Ireland, they might have to blow all the bridges. There are dynamite holes in all the bridges around Ireland in case they have to just in case Nazis are here, I get the dynamite in the holes. We already have the holes.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so I'm a big trivia nut.
That's like history trivia I love as well. Local history.
Yeah.
Like where I'm living now in London, there were 4 pubs. The Edinburgh Castle, the Pembroke Castle, the Dublin Castle, which Madness played their first gig at. It's pretty cool.
That's cool.
And isn't it? And
Yeah.
Windsor Castle, which no longer exists, right? But those 4 pubs were set up like in the Victorian times because Welsh people, Scottish people, and Irish people and English people would get drunk and fight each other. So they made these like 4 separate pubs. And they're like very far away from each other as well to kind of like segregate the workers. Isn't that so cool?
Do you know what I love? Is that there was probably Paddy Englishmen, Irishmen, Scotsmen, and Welshmen jokes, and they were all probably the different protagonists all being told at the same time, you know?
Totally in the pubs. You could probably like go from each different pub and then hear the same punchline from a different protagonist. But so like I was the first quiz I did was probably like a credit union quiz. And the credit union kids quiz, we have a team of 3 others, and we were just bad. And you get a good lesson of that. You know, you got to keep up with your you got to know who the Minister for Finance is.
Sure, yeah.
You gotta look at the papers that week. You gotta have an eye on what's going on, because they'll ask you like a question about the recent past that will never be kept in a quiz. Do you know what I mean? Like it's never information you need to keep on. So like I learned the hard way with that one. Like as well as that, like I wouldn't like to repeat what we said in the photo round about people, because we're kids. But
well, can I ask you, having done table quizzes since you were a kid and being good at them, outside of knowing trivia, is there any kind of performance or behavioral things? Because sometimes I find, is that the answer, or am I overthinking it? And not knowing whether to actually commit to that. I often find as well that when a lot of people are saying a lot of things and they haven't fully thought, then it's confusing the whole team. Are there any kind of behavioral kind of performance things that you do or you notice in a good quiz team?
I've lost my confidence as I've got older because I've been wrong. Do you know where I've been so sure I've been right?
Yeah.
That I'm like, I'm leaving this table unless you put down like that,
4 non-blondes.
Yeah, 4 non-blondes. Yeah. Like I'm gone. Like there's no point. Or like with the quizzing, I suppose I'm very competitive and I try to like keep that back because that's not a likable quality in anyone. Do you know what I mean? And people laugh at me at how, because I'm short and stuff like that. They laugh at how angry, like my whole body fizzes with rage.
Yeah.
And I can't I can't stand not winning. Like, and even if there's a team that's overly winning, I then make up stories about their personal life in my head. Like, you look at the team winning, you're like, fuck you. You know what I mean? You beat dogs or whatever.
I seem to have to always find a balance with someone having something I don't have, with them having some sort of medical disability that I don't know about, or that something is happening. And it could be anything, and then I just forget. But then, and it's only recently I'm like, no, they're fine. They're probably nice people. They get to have that.
I know. I'm honest to God, Tony, I'm getting hypnotherapy at the moment to try and sort that out for me. Because it's like the amount of energy you spend is like so elaborate on the backstory that you put for this. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and it's
it really is big time. But it's kind of a coping thing where it's kind of like, I'm not going to get angry about it because I have empathy for this made up thing. That for them, and I'm actually sorry for them. I actually feel sorry for them.
But I think the competitiveness comes from my dad. My dad is an incredibly competitive man.
Yeah.
I remember this doesn't paint him in a great light. This is the worst story I have about my dad. So if you're thinking about this, you're like, Jesus, this is the worst story.
I've heard a few.
I know. Oh yeah. So we were playing a game for Christmas one year. And Dad was losing very badly, and he was convinced that I was cheating because I was a child. I couldn't be beating him at this. We were playing a game of Frustration. Do you remember that game, Frustration?
Very frustrating.
Yeah, it's very well. It was so frustrating that Dad got his arm and he swept the whole board game against the wall and just ran out of the room and destroyed. We were like, Jesus Christ! And he came back and he's like, I'm sorry. Like. He just could not. Or there was another time, and this is because of both of our personalities and the competitiveness. I was playing pitch and putt against him, and he was beating me. He never lets you like he'll never play nicely to let the kid win, which I respect now.
Yeah.
But at the time, I was like, Dad, please just let me. You know what I mean? He was doing pitch and putt, and he was doing it perfect. and he hit the golf club. He hit the golf ball over a lake, and we had to walk around the lake to go find his ball. And my ball went straight into the lake, so I was mad at this point. But I saw his ball and I stood on the ball, so it went sunk down more into the ground, so you couldn't find it.
Yeah.
And then I was like, Dad, it's definitely got into like the lake, like, you know. And he's like, no, it hasn't, no, it hasn't. And then like he got that frustrated that he got the putter, and he just swung his arm around and threw the putter straight into the lake. And we're just standing there, and he's like, "Oh, my deposit's gone, Alison. What?" And he found the ball, and he knew that I had done that, and like, and then I had to go and pretend that I put the putter into the lake because I was a child.
You're a child. And
I was like, I threw it into the lake. Yeah. So that's how competitive my dad is. So that's like definitely a part of my competitive nature. It's that kind of thing.
That is fascinating. So you're someone. It's amazing. I had no idea this is where it was going to go with Pointless, and the fact that this is something that you knew you had a talent for, you had pride in. You were told that you could not have pride in your smarts, in your love of trivia, but also genetically you are a very highly competitive person, and behaviorally, like to the point of despising and fabricating false realities about other people.
Absolutely, and like but what I love about Pointless and what makes it stand above every other quiz show. I don't think as well that I've had a love for a quiz show like I've had for Pointless.
Yeah.
There's nothing. Maybe like what was it called? Was it Total Wipeout presented by Bob Monkhouse?
Oh yeah.
In the late 90s. I only really like that because he looked like my granddad, and I've just had some sort of like duck like love for Bob Monkhouse. But with Pointless, it's not just getting the answer right, it's getting the answer right with a niche answer.
Yeah.
It's really digging in. It's not about speed. I'm not great with speed. Like I wouldn't do
I'm not
well.
good with speed. No.
But I would be good over ruining it over and talking about it.
It's so satisfying. The countdown is so satisfying. It's exciting, but not too exciting.
It's incredible. It's incredible. Like just the whole setup of it as well. I went to see it live.
Yeah,
and it's incredible live. It's like
it's like Slain. You two, it's Slain kind of vibes.
But I swear, like, so my Pointless for me is like so me and my boyfriend got together because we both like Pointless.
Yeah.
He said he fell in love with me when I said that I DVR Pointless, right? And he was like, "This is the woman for me," you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, I have the Pointless board games, of all the books, all that kind of thing. And I remember I had to stop playing Pointless on my birthday with friends because I got quite angry because I got knocked out.
I'm sorry.
Yes. I got knocked out on the cricketing. I think it was cricket that I got knocked out on, so I didn't get through to the final. But the final was Sugar Babes singles, and I was like, I'm being fucking trolled here. Like, this is a disgrace.
God.
This is a disgrace. You know, New Year. That's what I would have went for. Yeah. Like, you know, there's no... and these people couldn't even name Freak Like You. Freak Like Me, I was just, like, disgusted. So, like, yeah, seeing it live. I went to see it, like... So, me and my boyfriend's first holiday, we went to London to go watch it. And people were like, "Oh, why are you in London? Are you gigging or anything like that?" We're like, "No, we're going to watch Pointless live." And they're like... This man honestly looked at us and then shook his head. Oh, okay, and just like continued on with this conversation. But like, you know, it was the best weekend of my life because it was something that me and my partner really liked doing, and
that's just so pure.
It's the purest love.
It's so
it genuinely
wholesome.
is. Yeah, and I didn't. And the more I kind of like, as well as, you know, what was really funny in the audience, the comedian warm-up guy. There's a warm-up guy when you're watching these. I would fully recommend going to a TV show that you love watching. It's very long, but you know, you get a warm-up comedian. They do a bit of comedy, and you're watching
Pointless.
something
I could get. I've been to other kind of like TV tapings before. I went to a Loose Women one before when I lived in London.
No.
I got into the queue, right? I got into the queue, and then like I was kind of separated from my work friends. And sorry to interrupt, but I do want to hear the more.
No, Tony, I want to hear this. You were separate, so you were sitting on your own.
So I was about to be sat on my own, and then there was with this woman, and she was kind of like, do you know the drawing from Titanic that Jack draws of the woman who comes to the bar with all the jewelry? You know,
paint me like one of your French girls.
Yeah,
that
like
one.
the French. Yeah, but you know the one who's like, her name was Madame whatever. She used to come here and wear all of her jewels, and it was a woman like that, like with a big, kind of Julia Roberts and Michael Collins kind of hat, kind of like. And I was like, this is weird, like literally something like 1920s and like loads of jewelry. And she was like, she goes, and I was like, oh, are you here? Because I got chatting. Are you here on your own? She goes like, no, I came here with my best friend. And I'm like, oh wow. And she goes, yeah, it's her birthday today.
Oh my god.
And I'm like, oh well, tell her when you see her, I said happy birthday, and I was like, nothing to say. And she goes like, I'd love to, but she died. And I was like, I'm fucking out. I'm out of here. I'm not sitting. And I left, and I was watching my mates on Loose Women, and I cut to the crowd. There's like a big empty space in the front, so I didn't end up going in.
You made the right decision, Tony.
I think so, yeah. But I mean, spiritually, yes, but we're not on that level yet. But I kind of got the vibe being like, oh, what you here? Like, me and my boyfriend just love Pointless. We came here as a date. Or I'm just gonna say over here.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go. Yeah, because it does feel like a very voyeuristic thing to do.
Yeah.
Like, if you're gonna, like, I don't know, give someone a hand job in public, you do it in the Pointless audience.
Coughing like your man on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Yeah.
Anyway, tell us about the experience.
The experience was that we had to pay for. I didn't realize how far out Elstree was outside of London. I think it's Elstree.
Yeah,
it was very far out. We had to get a taxi because we missed a train, and it cost us silly money. Got there anyway, sat in, and the warm up guy was like, "Okay, so who's come for the furthest? Anyone? What have we got?" And at this point, I was just so excited and so happy to be there. I put up my hand, and I was so used to having this conversation over the weekend, and I was like, I know I've made an effort. So I put up my hand like, Ireland, we've come from Ireland. And he's like, all right, yeah, cool. So you're from Ireland and you're living here. No. We specifically, we flew over to watch Pointless live. And this man is just like, oh my gosh. Like, I felt like we were being treated. He was just couldn't believe that someone would go for that effort. And then Richard Osman came up on stage, and he's like, doing his bits and bobs, and he's there beside the laptop, and the comedian went over. He's like, Richard, there's a couple here that's come all the way over from Ireland just to see Pointless. Come over all the way over to see you.
What?
And then he looked at him and he went, all right, yeah. And I was like, this is incredible. He did not give a shit. Like, it was not.
I was like, oh my god, he can't believe he came. His big lanky head leaning over. What's your name? Big long hand coming out like some fucking Willy Wonka thing. Like,
yeah, he could have reached over from the table straight to be honest. But it was not of interest to him that day.
Yes,
it was not like, and I was pressuring my granddad at that time. He had an English address. I lived in Ireland. I was like, let's go on together. I just really want to go on Pointless. And I kind of like, it's never happened for me. But so what I watched, right, it's super rare at that time to watch anyone win Pointless. Like, the trophy is tiny. I have a lot of stand-up comedian friends who are on Pointless Celebrities now, and I'm just like, that's the only thing I give a shit about. I don't care if they've been on, like, they're like, oh my god, I've just been on Live at the Apollo. I'm like, okay, can you show me your trophy, please? Like, I just
wow,
I don't care.
Yeah, so here's a bit of Pointless trivia for you. The trophy is only 5 inches tall.
Yes, it's only 5 inches tall, but does that make it hilarious?
Yeah, because it looks massive in the thing, like.
Yeah. It's so big. The trophy is tiny. Being there as well, we watched two different teams win Pointless. They filmed 2 shows in one session.
Oh, cool.
So it's pretty cool. And we watched two different teams win pointless, but I think this is rare. Three separate pointless answers. So I never saw any in the final round. I didn't see any answer that was a point or more.
Oh wow!
Yeah, that's like we were like we'd gone to. Yeah, like we it felt like watching Ronaldo. Like, you know, it was just beautiful football in our heads of just look at this guy. He's a professional bettor. Like, you know, he's gonna win. Also, there was around famous people with the initials JC. So, you know, like Jesus Christ, Jeremy Corbyn, that kind of thing. It was a picture around. And there was a pointless answer that none of the teams got. And they said, anyone in the audience know who that is? Hand up. Me. JC Chazes. Thank you very much. Yes. I was like, I swear, I couldn't have had a better day. It was one of the best days of my life.
That
and I
sounds
took pictures.
Incredible.
I love it so much. I record it all the time. I watch it. It's my go-to. I'm a massive fan of Sean Williamson. You know him?
Yeah.
He's like one of the
Barry from EastEnders.
Barry from EastEnders is statistically one of the best pointless players ever.
Really?
I'm listening to his audiobook of his life right now, and there's a whole chapter dedicated to him being on pointless celebrities, and it's like reading the footballer's book about, like, you know, a match day or whatever.
That has to be like a Venn diagram of things just Alison Spittle. like just for you.
You know, I also learned a lot more about geography. It's making me take a bigger interest in my trivia. Than before. I was just like, I'm a trivia person, but now with pointless. Like I genuinely am trying to get my career off the ground in England so I can get on pointless celebrities. And I'm so scared because Richard Osman's book is doing so well. Do you know, like
I know, he might not. Do you know what I found as well? Like, because I hadn't actually watched Pointless in probably a couple of years. Like, when Pointless might be on, it's not necessarily one of like. My man likes a lot of like game shows, but they're always stuff like that is basically take a pub game, make it really big, and have Bradley Walsh host it. You know what I mean? And you know, or you know, like it's like a little pachinko machine of like fucking discs falling down. Like, oh my god, you know, or it's like, you know, like I've said this before in the pod. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if I walked in and my man was watching like large, you know, automatic, you know, beer mats being flipped. You know. You know, and someone who's just left EastEnders hosting it, you know. But I forgot just how calming it is, and it's actually quite jarring at first watching Pointless because it is funny. There are funny bits, but no one laughs. People don't laugh. It's kind of this. It's kind of like this when you walk into an Edinburgh show and you don't know if it's serious or if it's, you know, an actual proper comedy show that people aren't getting yet, you know.
I totally get you. I also think like this, because I love Pointless so much, that I genuinely, not that I don't like The Chase, but I do judge people who like The Chase more than Pointless. I do think
Chase is all fucking, it's all music,
showbiz.
It's all show. Pointless is just quick intros. Who are you? No messing. 100 people, 100 seconds. This is it, you know, and just straight, just pure. It is pure, you know. It's like mainline Brown trivia.
It really is. And like the other thing is, like, I know, you know the whole Fanny Schmeller thing that's on The Chase, and I'm like, the Pointless wouldn't do that.
No,
they used to have a little thing where they used to have their own what do they call it, Tony, when you have a sentence, a catchphrase? Sorry. They used to have a catchphrase that's like, that's not bread, that's toast. I don't know where that's from, but I fucking love it. Like, I was like, getting that on a t-shirt and everything, like, you know.
I got a transcript here of something Richard Osman just said today. This is just an example of the sort of patter that you get on Pointless, okay? So, and actually, you can guess this one if you want. State or state capitals that do not feature a letter A. This was one of the questions, right? Do I want
to answer? Yeah, I'll give it a go. Okay, so I'm thinking you go for Central African Republic, Tuvalu, Vanuatu. They've all got A's in them. So
no, this is American state or state capitals that do not have a letter A.
Concord.
Oh wow, it didn't even come up. Actually, it did as a pointless one. It did. Yes! That's great. Yes. Straight away.
Okay, cool. That's my go-to state capital for like.
That's genius. Yeah, someone said Boise. That got a 1. That wasn't even pointless. But this guy John, he says Illinois, and then Richard Osman goes, funny you say Illinois, because Morton in Illinois, which also has no letter A, is the pumpkin capital of the world, and pumpkin also doesn't have an A either. So there's a lot going on there. And then he said, and did you know 85% of the world's canned pumpkins come from Morton, Illinois? I'll never eat a canned pumpkin. I don't care if you're watching Morton. I don't care.
See, that's tough.
Not a laugh. Not a laugh.
No way. And they kept it in.
You know, and Armstrong didn't say anything, you know.
Oh my God. I genuinely have to say as well, the audience are dry.
Yeah.
Like being in there, they were dry. I was like, why are you here?
Yeah, you know, there's something so, but then you kind of get something very comforting of being like, you know, and they're not even trying to fish it out, being like, oh, okay, yeah, great, and they just move on, you know.
Yes.
It's like, that was a joke. Mm-hmm. It's like, we've reached this kind of like AI kind of like, you know, super intelligence now where humor doesn't exist because there's just too much trivia, you know.
Quiet confidence or something in that they have.
There is.
There is. I fucking love that. They're not being like Bradley Walsh, you know, rolling over his belly to be tickled.
Not at all. Oh, that's exactly what he does. Now, can I ask you, is Osman daddy?
To me?
Yeah.
Yes. and Alexander Armstrong. They're both my daddies.
Both daddy, okay. Because, I mean, he pops up on TV and Terry's like, oh, daddy, you know, for Osman.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Sorry. I thought you meant, like, you know, sorry. I thought you meant, like, my actual dad.
Which one wouldn't you? I asked, yes. Are they daddy?
Oh, do I find them attractive? I don't, and that's not like that's not in the hopes that I get on Pointless that I can. But like, who do I like? That's on telly. Jesus, I don't know what's wrong with me, but like, no, they're not my daddies.
No,
Jesus,
fair.
I wish.
No,
I'm sorry about this.
He always pops up on like a weird crush kind of list. Does Osman?
Yeah, anyone with glasses seems to be a weird crush for silly people.
I know,
and it's like so...
I've been on a weird crush list.
Have you?
I've been on a weird, yeah. Someone's stories I saw once.
How did that make you feel? Like...
I mean, look, you know, flattered, you know, want to show Terry, look at that fucking shit. Read that fucking shit. You know?
Look at, I could go any day, Terry.
Yeah.
The car is being warmed up.
Yeah.
I've had people like message me to say that they've had wanks over me, but they weren't like pleasant. You know,
no, that's
like...
not nice. No.
No.
Just want to let you know. Look, I'm gonna have a wank by you. Like, is that crazy? Is that corny? Yeah, I've seen that.
Please answer, please.
WB.
Yeah.
So here's a bit of trivia for you from IMDb. Here's 2 bits of trivia for you about Pointless. 1, did you know the computer on Osman's desk is literally pointless? It's a prop.
I do. He made a little joke about that in the audience too. It's like, I mean, there's so much pointless trivia, and they market that. You know what I mean? There's books and all that stuff. So give me another one.
So during a music round, Richard Osman described 1980s band Echo and the Bunnymen as having been lost to history. And lead singer Ian McCulloch was a fan of Pointless, was watching, and he took offence, and he called Osman a prick in an interview with The Independent.
That's amazing. Because when I was a massive fan of Morrissey back in the day, and there used to be like a Morrissey chat room that I used to go to as a teenager. Once again, Venn diagram. Yeah. And this man came in to try and troll us with like, I love Echo and the Bunnymen, but I knew that Echo and the Bunnymen did a song with the Spice Girls, so I kept going, yeah, I love them too, especially that song they did with Spice Girls, and he didn't like that at all. He left. So.
No killing moon or nothing.
Yeah.
Here's some of the dumbest answers that have been featured on Pointless, which I have to say I was a bit disappointed with, because I think I'm just very dumb. I think I could have been caught out with these. There's an iconic one which I'm sure you've seen, which is 2 young girls on. They seem to be already having a bit of a tough time of it at the moment. Their body language is just arms crossed, facing you each way. Countries with 2 consonants. And one of the girls is like, I don't know, I can't think, Paris? And then the other one just turns, just sulking, just so upset. But
the classic kind of like teams that you get in Pointless is there's always, like being on pointless is a lot like having a threesome. Okay,
Sure.
you could.
Sure.
There's always someone more enthusiastic to do this in the couple than the other one. Do you know? The other one is playing along, trying to save the relationship, but you can see that there's more and more torment on the one that
like your man in that Louis Theroux. We're polyamorous.
Yes.
Poor guy.
Poor guy, I know. So like that is that is the way I'm pointless is like, and that's why I respect John Williamson so much. Is that he's been paired with some clangers like back in the day, and he's always won. Like if you are that good, you can pull through and pointless.
To like literally sit out an entire question, like to sit out, you know.
You have to have that confidence in yourself and that other person. That like, you know, some people aren't gifted with a friend that's as into pointless as you are.
So if you're on pointless and they're like, "Oh, who wants to step up?" I mean, are you going first? Does that, you know?
Depends on the like where am I positioned?
Sure.
Like so, me and Simon with the boyfriend, like we watch pointless that much now that we will try and guess the percentage that the answer goes down to, and like there's no better feeling. You honestly feel like you're psychic and you came at the same time. Like it's just, you know, it's how I imagine Derek Acorage is to like, God rest him.
God rest him, yeah.
But that's how I imagine it is to get like a percentage right on pointless as well. It's very good.
You know, I really didn't. I mean, when you said pointless, I was like, "That's great." I so wasn't anticipating you saying pointless, and I'm so glad that you did. But I actually didn't realize that this is so true to the topic of this thing, which is this is pure geek. Like you play pointless, you've been to pointless, you identify kind of in pointless. You
very much so.
You kind of like link, you know, a sense of worth with a knowledge of trivia. You know,
I totally do. Yes.
But what kind of geek kind of things? If you were say 13, 14 now, what kind of shit do you think you would be geeking out hard on?
Gosh, I'm very glad that Twitter didn't exist when I was 13 or 14 because I would be destroyed. Like,
oh god.
Like, yeah, the things, like, I'm not into him anymore, but the things that I did on behalf of Morrissey's honor, as a teenager, was a disgrace. Do you know what I mean? I'm looking back at me now, I'm like, oh, gee, you're lucky, Alison, you dial up. Do you know what I mean? You're very lucky. But what would I be into if I was 13 or 14 now?
Like I found recently on TikTok that there's people who are like dressing up in the kind of emo gear. They have the hair, they got the things, and their whole thing is like they growl. They kind of like do this. There's a subculture of men who growl, and they do it and like
when they're talking.
But like no, they do it to be like, you know, you guys. There's been a lot of talk about wanting to hear my growl. Okay, guys, here it is. You know, but make sure you listen to this in private. Okay, you know, it's like, you know, and like it's just kind of like these kind of hybrid, you know, anthropomorphic furries who don't, you know, identify in furries. And I think this is some sort of emo furry shit that I could have found myself, and I would have been on, you know, TikTok cringe, front page of Reddit, TikTok cringe. If I had have had access to it in 13, 14, I think.
Yes. It would depend on my geographic location. Like if I was 13 or 14 living in England, I think I'd be really into trains. Like I think I find myself now, like my YouTube I think you can judge a person by their YouTube algorithms and stuff. Mine is I'm constantly watching this guy called Jeff who has this train. He has this blog where he's gone to every train station in the United Kingdom and Ireland, and it's called All the Trades. And I watch it. I now know different brands of trains and stuff. It's just I
get ASMR hearing someone talk so emphatically about something that they really like, especially if they can do it with, like, you know, with zero fat, being like, this is all you need to fucking know about trains.
Yes, and it's like I think they're the truly most successful people in the world, and the most happy people in the world are people that can like fully go in on their hobbies. And like this man Jeff, not only has he fully gone in on his hobby, he's making a living off it now, and he's given a place. I didn't think I was that into trains before, but I find it incredibly relaxing. And he has a female sidekick as well. I think her name is Kate Pipe or something like that. Yeah,
sidekick.
Well, I think they're partners. I think
Oh,
they're
right.
yes, sorry. I
She
mean,
comes out like, from like, being sawn in half, kind of like a big Diamante kind of dress. And this is also a train.
but yeah, I think I'd be into trains. I'm very bad on TikTok. I would like to think that if I was a teenager, I'd be able to get TikTok, but I can't. I'm a watcher, do you know? I
Yeah,
can't
I don't
figure out
know.
how you do the videos.
I feel like you would have had. I feel like you probably would have done stuff like the Alison Spittle, like the Alison Spittle show, or like the on location stuff. Like I think you would have been like, 10 things that just make sense in Mullingar.
Or I'd be like, they're Nazis, used to live in Athlone. Let's go see. When I was a teenager, I used to do a thing called TXing, which was the very geekiest thing ever.
TXing.
TXing is where you look for radio stations on the bandwidth. Like my granddad had this boom box with shortwave, medium wave, and long wave, and I just blew my mind. I really got into it. So I would like listen to shortwave, which interestingly is a wave from very far away. Like I heard a show called The Voice of China, which is an American propaganda radio service that tells them about how communism is bad, but also gives you traffic updates.
What?
Like and it's in English. It's just incredible. Like there's incredible shit on a. I love listening to pirate radio.
Why is that so much better than going onto the internet and finding something? Why is your mate having a walkie-talkie so much more? I'll give us a shot at that, even though we have phones. Like, what is it about this kind of the one step down in technology that just is so fascinating?
Well, to geek out now is a lot less effort than it was before. Like, and I don't mean it as a disrespect, but you can be into something and find your tribe on the internet very easily, and also find specifically, like like with trains and stuff. I don't think I would have ever had an interest in trains if I didn't go on YouTube. Yeah. But with the TX, and like if your wrist hurts and you're just not arsed searching again and again and again, you might not find it, and you're straining your ear beside it, and you're holding it, and you're trying to get something. And it's just, I'm obsessed with Popmaster on BBC Radio 2, which kind of interlinks my love of radio and my love of trivia. And the thing I do with my dad, and I want to say this, is like, my dad will play a song and then he'll go, name the song. Love and then it. And I'm very good at knowing a song by the intro, just because of the competitive nature of me and my dad. And
I love that. That's my round. That's my round, and then I just stop talking.
Or all the messages that I get off my dad, right? I wish I could show you the wholesomeness of the WhatsApp that I get from my dad. And it's either like he's eating a Greg's sausage roll and he goes, naughty, because or he goes, have you listened to today's Popmaster? Yeah. And then I give him my score and he gives his score. So we're still competing with each other. Yeah. Even though quite violent anger, but but also a love for trivia. Yeah.
Alison, thank you so much. You really are a pointless / trivia super geek.
Thank you so much for having me on. Yeah. I'd like, if you're ever playing pointless, like, and you're worried about geography rounds, Vanuatu, Tuvalu, Central African Republic, you're sorted. There's all this kind of stuff.
Really?
There's these little shortcuts. You'd be grand, like, if you're ever playing pointless or anything like that. I also, in Edinburgh, when I was really poor, I used to make money for drink by going on the pointless pub game thing.
Oh, really?
Because it gives out money, and I would destroy it. And then I'd wait a few days and wait for the cash thing to go back up again and go back. I would just absolutely mace it. Like, it felt like, that's I felt powerful then. Getting shit reviews, but destroying it and pointless.
You should see me at the bar machine.
Yes.
Alison, that's great. Thank you so much. Where can people find you and what you're working on at the moment?
I got a podcast with Fern Brady called Wheel of Misfortune. You can find that on Tony. You were a fucking great guest on that, by the way.
Thank you so much.
Like, they still talk about you. Did they not do that for a lot of guests? I
was chuffed, and when I got a letter with my little, from the BBC for being a contributor, I was like, wow, I made it. Like, I literally thought about framing it, and then I'm like, no, I don't want people to see that.
I know, yeah, because if people come in, they'll be like, gee, he's very into England. Like, it would be like a good picture of the Queen or something like that.
See that? Like, The Office. We're one and the same.
Yeah,
it's a great podcast.
You can see that, and I think that's it, really. I don't know what I'm doing. Like, and I'm gigging over here. Oh, I got 2 gigs in Ireland. One in Limerick and one in the Spirit Store in Dundalk in like October. And I think I'm doing a gig in Dublin at that time as well, but I don't know when it is or whatever. But,
brilliant. So find you on the social and you can get all those details and tour dates.
It's mad how when we talk, we always end up talking about pedophiles. Like, we just need to get out of us at the start.
I think I bring it up. I think I know you will.
I know. We might as well in a form, you know, instead of it coming out of one of us going, pedophiles. Like, I know. It was so lovely chatting to you, Tony. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Alison. Thanks so much.
And best of luck with this podcast.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's good fun. I would like to thank again my guest, Alison Spittle, for being my debut guest on Geekhole on the Tony Cantwell Shitshow. I'll find a better way of titling this in the future, but thank you very much, and do check out all of her stuff online at Alison Spittle. Do listen to her podcast Wheel of Misfortune with Fern Brady that she does every week, and if you want again an entry level episode, I was on an episode called School, about school, and I told the story about how I entered a bike race and won, but all is to be revealed if you listen to the episode. I would also like to thank the sponsor of this week's pod, the Dubliner Irish Whiskey. Do check out the DLD.com. Do check out some fabulous smoked stout beer cask edition, less than 2,000 bottles you can get over there. Add a hint of smokiness without putting your glass of drink in a fucking bell jar. Over on the DLD.com. And if you would like to hear more of me shiting on, usually, and for the most part, without a guest, you can do so over on the Patreon. I upload an episode every single week over on the Patreon. There's an extra episode every single week, every single Friday, where recently I talked about how to be happy. I talked about how you can be happy, because I was in a fucking foul mood, and I went online with some tips, and I found myself in a much better mood, and it's actually a very funny episode. As well, I talk about what an average day in the life of a child in 1997 was like, down to the TV you were watching, down to the games you were playing, down to what was in the news, who was winning in wrestling. I'm all talking about 1997. If you would like a trip down memory lane, do check that out over on the Patreon. So look, if you're in the position where, you know, you could pay the price of a pint a month, and if you would like more podcasts, you can listen to them over on the Patreon. But look, if I don't see you over there, I'll see you here next week on the Tony Cantwell Shit Show. I'm going to stop saying my name right now.